All right, everybody, welcome to this month's training webinar. Very excited to have everybody on. My name is Will Hankey, and this month we are talking about website critiques. So I'm actually pulling up some live websites that have been submitted to us, and we're going to go through these sites and kind of tear them to shreds in a very polite way. But I hope that at the end of this, you'll have a bunch of good ideas that you can take from all these different reviews and apply those to your website. So what I've kind of structured this is I'm going to go through, I think, 6 different websites, and I'm going to show you different things on each site. So I'm trying not to be repetitive, although in a lot of cases, all these sites have the same offenses, but I'm not going to just do it 6 times over the same stuff. So we're going to try to have different things for each one, and excited to get this going and excited to have people on today. I am multitasking, trying to get a couple different things going at once, but hey, let's get started. So I'm going to share my screen here. So you guys should see now Made in the Shade, East Orlando. Let me know in the chat if you do see that particular site so that I know that we're on the same page here. Somebody just put a yes or something in the chat. That way we know that you guys can see purple and gray of Made in the Shade. That would be great. So, all right, let's see. All right, sharing my screen. You guys should be able to see that. So let's go through this. So right off the bat, the first thing I see here is that this main navigation is too long. In fact, it's folded over to a second line. Not a huge deal, but there's no reason for that to happen. One thing you could do here right off the bat is get rid of this home link, because it's very common across every website now that the logo, typically, which is in top left, is clickable. And that always takes you to the home page of whatever that website is. I think that's pretty much understood now. So getting rid of home here would probably turn those back to one line. The other thing here is, by that folding over to that second line, that's an extra, we'll call it a ½ inch of real estate that you're not showing to potential customer. It's just wasted space, basically. So that would be an easy fix for that. I do see the phone number here is in the top right. It is click to call, which is great. I will definitely be repeating that throughout today. And then we've also got a button here that says free in-home window treatment consultation. So if I click that button, it dumps me to a make an appointment page where, of course, I can fill out my information here. Now, one thing about having a form on your site is the longer the form, the less likely people are to fill it out. So you kind of have to play a juggling game here of what stuff do we really need and what stuff don't we need. Quite honestly, for something like this, you need first name, last name, email, phone, and that's probably it. The rest of the stuff you could get in a follow-up call to verify the appointment. That would be a better situation. More people are going to fill that out because there's less info required. It helps you get more leads from your website because you're not asking all these things. Like this address, this has a star, which means it is required. So somebody has to fill out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fields there that really aren't necessary. If you call them, ask for the address, it's out of the area. Sorry, we don't work there. End of call. So that could really help. Same thing for how did you hear about us? A lot of this stuff can be tracked through Google Analytics and some back-end type things. You really don't need to have this question here. Now, I do like the additional comments. You might want to change that to something that's like, tell us about your project or something like that. Might be a little bit better way to go with the additional comments there. And then the CAPTCHA is just fine. The CAPTCHA is fine. I mean, that's pretty common nowadays. So one thing I did with this site is I clicked the start chat thing just because I wanted to see, how it worked, what happened. So hello, thanks for getting in touch. And then I said, do you offer solar shades? And it was about a 12 to 15 minutes time delay before they replied. And then of course I just said, sorry, it's me. And I guess they didn't know who I was. So interestingly, I know the owner of this company and she knows me. So it also made me wonder if this messenger is being ran by somebody maybe at the corporate level and not the actual business owner. I don't know. But I found that interesting. So 12 to 15 minute delay, probably not the end of the world. And that's actually pretty good. At least it wasn't, not replied, or it was replied to 8 hours later, right? So that is within acceptable range, I think. Let's see, the contact page here, surprisingly, is incorrect. They do have a form here, but look at this, phone number wrong, email goes here. So this is not filled out correctly. Not exactly sure why. Now I do know that Made in the Shade is a corporate franchise kind of deal. And all they do is when somebody else signs up, they take a copy of their main site, duplicate it, change the words, and obviously they miss some things here. But this is pretty important. If somebody goes to your contact page and they don't have your contact info, that's a big deal. I would also have a map here of where your location is. Maybe click here for directions, things of that sort would definitely help as well. And lastly, I kind of mentioned this already, but I'm just not a fan of all these menus at the top. That takes up a lot of space. Let's see what else. Oh, this is kind of a big one. This is a tool that I have called aHrefs, and this lets me plug in a website, get some information about that website from Google's standpoint. And in this case, when I plugged their website in, the tool actually wouldn't let me go any further because it's not crawlable. So this website is not crawlable in Google, meaning Google's not going to find it. Now, in this case, I also know that sometimes Made in the Shade uses MITS, M-I-T-S, East Orlando in this case. So I plugged that in as well, but got the same results. So you can see I shortened it here. But again, not crawlable, some errors, different things here. So definitely a problem from Google's standpoint where I couldn't even plug this site in any further to get some information from Google. That's definitely an issue. Same thing for another tool that we have that we use pretty often called Bright Local. That particular tool couldn't find this location, wanted me to fill in all kinds of information about them. So I abandoned just because it should pull in all this information. So I went and looked, I just typed in Made in the Shade East Orlando into Google, hoping to get this over here on the right, which is the Google Business Profile, also known as Google My Business Profile, things like that. This is really important. In fact, the training I did in August was all around how to optimize your Google Business Profile. Now, the one thing that I see here, well, two things I see. First of all, no reviews. I know this is a new company, only about 2 months old, so that's probably why there are no reviews, but definitely needs to be top priority to start getting those reviews as soon as possible. Secondly, I noticed that they've actually got it set up as a service area instead of listing their address. So that's nice. And I understand people like to do that because they don't want to list their address, especially if they're working out of their home. They don't want to list that address. The problem with doing that is you're not going to show up in what we call the 3-pack of results, not as often as if you were showing your address. So I might prove myself wrong here, but I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to do window treatments, East Orlando. So in that results, I get budget blinds, I get Florida blinds, and I get easy blinds. Now, these guys, 238 reviews, 92 reviews. So it's going to take a while to unseat these guys, right? But Easy Blinds has no reviews. So there's no reason that Made in the Shade couldn't get a couple reviews and be in this conversation. The problem is, quite honestly, I don't think they're going to show them here because it is because they have it set to service area. So instead of showing an address, they show service area. Google is less likely to show those as one of the three options. Now, why is this a big deal? As of right now, around 60% of our clients' leads are coming from this 3-pack, from the Google Business Profile area. Over half of their leads are coming from this. The big reason for that is most people, 60 to 70% of people now are searching on mobile devices, typically a phone, sometimes a tablet, but mostly phones. People with phones, when doing searches, are very likely to make their decisions from what we call the 3-pack here. So getting into this 3-pack is huge when it comes to generating leads for your business. The way to get into this without going into how to do it is, first of all, to list your address and not a service area. All right, I think I beat that to death. Hopefully you get the idea. By the way, if you have any questions about anything that I'm going through, please put those into the chat area on the app here, so that we can so that I can answer those questions. I want to make sure everybody is clear and understands the things I'm sharing. So overall, definitely needs some work. Now, the other thing about Made in the Shade in particular, and really Hunter Douglas generic sites that they give too, is that the content on the site is the same across the entire US. So this content here for faux wood blinds is the exact same content on about 200, 300, however many people they have. Maybe it's more than that. However many people they have signed up to use their system and their website, everybody has the same content. So it's really hard for you to set yourself apart, to start to rank for some of these terms, because in some cases, Google could actually penalize this business for copying another business, even though they're kind of all the same, just in different areas. So definitely something that would be worth the time to rewrite all these pages. And obviously that's a lot of work. Look at all these pages that they have. But all of these are duplicate pages to Google because the content is the same across the entire US. So definitely worth the time to do that and to fix those errors. And also the same on the Hunter Douglas template type sites that they give out. Most of those sites are the exact same. They just changed the name, they changed the about page, but the content is really all the same. It's really hard to get these kinds of sites to rank well with that being a problem. Now, in the case of MITS, I know that they do give their owners the ability to change this. So it is something you can change, but most of them don't know to do so. All right, that's enough about that. I don't see any questions. If you have any questions, put those into the chat. I am going to jump to the next website. Let's see, Maureen's got a question. I've been told that if you have two different websites that you can create something Congo link that so that Google sees these are not the same and not competing. Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with having a Hunter Douglas type site, but I would highly recommend you also have your own website on the WordPress platform that you can control 100%. Because again, the Hunter Douglas site is just a duplicated site across the web, just like Made in the Shade is. So the way to do that is, yes, build your own website, and then you could link to each other. I wouldn't worry about it. If the Hunter Douglas site ranks, that's great. What you're after is getting your site ranked, at the WordPress site. If your Hunter Douglas site also ranks, then basically what you're doing is you're pushing a competitor off of page 1 of Google because you're taking up 2 listings instead of 1. That's okay. However, I would not take that a step further and say, well, I'm going to build 5 websites and then push 5 people off the front page. The problem with that is you're splitting your efforts across a whole bunch of different pages, trying to get them all to rank. That's a lot of work. I would highly recommend building one kick-ass website that does a great job. If Hunter Douglas or MITS wants to give you a free site, fine, do that. Obviously you need to stay within their parameters or their whatever they say that you can do. So that would hopefully that helps you there. So in that situation, I need to advertise one phone number, right? Yes. So when it comes to Google, another thing with the 3-pack is that the phone number that you show on this in your Google business profile, on the Better Business Bureau page, on the Chamber of Commerce page, always needs to be the same phone number, which is your main phone number. There are ways to show call tracking numbers, and we use call tracking for all of our clients. So Google sees the main number, but when a human comes to a page, it flips to a different number that we can then track. But yes, ultimately, name, address, phone number always needs to be the same across the web for sure. Another question, what if I don't want to show my address, but I want to show up in the 3-pack? Is there some sort of solution or middle ground that may work? Short answer is show your address. That's the short answer. That's going to get you in there the most. Now, there are ways to build city pages or pages that are around here. So in this example, you could build a page, window treatments in Winter Park, Florida, window treatments in Sanford, Florida, window treatments in Claremont, Florida. Those kinds of things would help you send signals to Google that you want to be shown in those areas. I think that would be a good way to do it. Ultimately, the best answer is to show your address. It's night and day difference. All right, let's go on to the next victim, who is Core Window Coverings. So this is their website. They are in the, where are they? They are in, sorry, I got to look at my notes. They are in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Now, I had some trouble figuring this out. It wasn't obvious. Right? It is down here, Spokane and Coeur d'Alene window treatments, but I didn't see that right off the bat. And Google doesn't see it right off the bat either. So a couple comments about this. Obviously, the home link is here again. The logo does go to their homepage, so I see this as repetitive. I did not see a phone number, and typically phone numbers are always top right. Now, I do see request an appointment, and I'll click on that in a minute here. But somebody did point out to me that the phone icon is over here, but it's not obvious. It's not the phone number. When I click that, it does do a click to call, but no phone number is listed here. I have to click it. And even when I click it, I still don't see the phone number. So if I'm just coming to the website, let's say somebody referred me to the site. Oh, you need to go to Core Window Coverings. Look those guys up, give them a call. Well, if I come here, I have no way to call them right off the bat. It's not obvious. Now, I could probably go to the Contact Us page, and hopefully there is a phone number. Yes, there are phone numbers here. They are not click to call, but there are phone numbers here. I'm forcing my visitor to go find a way to contact me. Probably not the best scenario. So I would highly recommend top right be phone number. Secondly, I'd probably move the social media related icons to the footer. They're not super important that they need to be taking up this real estate at the top of your page. For somebody who comes to a website, you need to give them ways to contact you immediately, not go see what's going on in social. Just my opinion. What else? Had to do a little research to find where they were at, and it's actually this icon here takes you to a map that shows where they're at. Again, a little clunky in order to figure that out. Now, if I had scrolled down, I would have seen where they were at. So overall, the amount of content on the homepage, pretty good. There's a good amount of content here. Now, these numbers are click to call. The stuff down here in the footer, pretty small. And so they have some service areas. So I'm going to click on Sandpoint, Idaho. And let's see what this is. Okay. So this is a page specifically about Sandpoint, Idaho. I would put window treatments as part of this heading, which is a main keyword that they're trying to rank for, instead of just the city. You don't want to rank for somebody who's just looking up information about the city. You want to rank when somebody's looking up window coverings, window treatments, blind shade shutters. So those need to be the words in this area. Also in the top left, I don't know if you guys can see this, the tab on my browser actually just says Sandpoint ID. So this is the meta title for this particular page. And this is some keywords you can put behind the scenes to tell Google what this page is about. In this case, we're telling Google that the page is about the town, Sandpoint, Idaho, not window treatments in that town. So definitely a missed opportunity there as well. Let's see, back on the homepage, I'm not a huge fan of this form. It's not the end of the world, but it is kind of in your face before they get any information about your business. It's, it's kind of a, hey, nice to meet you. You want to get married, kind of thing. Maybe not the best. I'd test it. I think I would test this, move this form, maybe make it smaller with some other information first or something, versus just shoving it in your face. Just my opinion again. It does look like they rank for a decent amount of keywords. So overall in this tool, I put them in here and they got an 88 on the SEO rankings. Looks like there's 11 errors, 215 additional things that they could do. Overall, not a bad score. We tend to keep our clients in the upper 90s. The reason they're typically not 100 is because Google is always changing their algorithm. It's nearly impossible to get to and or stay at 100. So upper 90s is great. But overall, from an SEO standpoint, they're scoring pretty well in this area. Now, I did go to the social media since they were at the top of the page there. I went ahead and clicked on the different social media, and I actually posted about this in my Facebook group that they're doing a good job here. September 9th, there's a post that is about Solaris shades. There's another one on September 8th that's about temperatures maybe dropping. You might want to look at some screen shades. This is a great post here that they had a 5-star review and they went ahead and shared that on Facebook. I also saw this shared on their Instagram page. Love that. I think it's great. I love that they did that. I also love this on Instagram. The customer requested us to layer a solar shade with a honeycomb shade, and then they showed that, and you can see there's some engagement here with that. If we look at the other ones, not as much engagement. So that's awesome. I love that it kind of explains what that was about. I am not a Instagram expert, so I don't know how far apart these posts were. And I'm not going to look, but it looks like they're posting fairly regularly. That's great. I would definitely add some information about your location to this. YouTube channel. Not very many window treatment companies have YouTube channels, but Dan's doing a great job here of putting up some content 3 weeks ago, a month ago, 2 months ago, starting to build some playlists on different products. This is great. Definitely keep this going. I would recommend getting some nice thumbnails made for these videos. That'll help you get a little bit more action there. And I'm not going into how to optimize your YouTube channel, but it's fantastic to see that you're doing something here. That's great. Let's see, that was the map, showed the audit. This is, I did a local marketing report. So in this case, unlike the Made in the Shade one that I just did, this report is showing up, and you can kind of see from a different angle, specifically locally, how they're doing. And you can see reputation was good, so good reviews. Their overall Google business profile is in a good shape, but there are some other things that need some help. And most of this is around lack of ranking for keywords, things like that. Now you can get your own copy of a report like this for free at our website, which is wtmarketingpros.com/report. you can go there, plug in your business, and get a very similar report to this. Just plug your business name in here and it'll generate one for you. So overall, not too bad on some things, poor on some others. Lastly, I did type in the name of the business just to see if they were coming up in the Google 3-pack. It does look like they come up, in this case, 20 5-star reviews, which is awesome. Congratulations. That's really good. That's great. So 25-star reviews, and then you're up against budget blinds with 42 reviews. But look, you're outranking budget blinds. Everybody thinks that's not possible. It is definitely possible with some good SEO. Keep doing that, getting more things, going through that list and doing some more of those things, and you'll definitely continue to outrank these guys. And then look at this, blind guy window coverings, 158 reviews. So outranking both of those. That's great. Number one in organic for this term. So overall, pretty good job there. So, all right. I don't see any questions. I'm going to jump to the next one, who is Arizona Specialty. Let me see if I can find, I think that might be this one. Yep. Here we go. All right. Next is Arizona Specialty Shutters and Blinds. These guys are in the Phoenix area, as you can see down here. This is a good looking site overall from a visual standpoint. The best looking one, in my opinion, that we've seen so far. I did talk to the owner of this website this morning, and he said this website does not generate very many leads. So even though it looks great, could definitely use some optimization things from that standpoint. So let's go through. Again, phone number, it is in the top right. It is click to call, but it's really small and it's the same color as everything else, and it just kind of blends in. So I would make it bigger. I would make it bold. I would make it bright orange, something that makes it stand out, so that people that want to just pick up the phone and call can do so. Now, this form looks a lot better than that last one. Still a form at the top of the page, but there's other stuff to do, right? Which is great. The top menu is sticky. So as I scroll down, you see that it stays up there. And now the phone number is a little bit more bold. It's a little bit more obvious. That's awesome. That looks better than when it just comes to the first part of the homepage. So definitely love the sticky menu, always have. Everybody so far has had this home link, and I just don't think it's necessary. The one thing that I did notice here is not a lot of mention of Phoenix or Scottsdale. Now down here, we do have the Phoenix Valley's trusted shutter blinds and shades dealer. I don't live there, so I don't know, but I don't know how many people are going to search for something like window coverings Phoenix Valley. I have a feeling they're just going to search for window coverings Phoenix or window coverings Scottsdale, something like that. So I would definitely, I don't know if Valley is the right term, even though that's a local term. I don't know if that's right for Google. I don't know if people are going to be searching for a phrase like that. It's also used up here. Same thing as the last site. When we look at the title of this particular site, custom window treatment, Arizona Specialty. So no mention of Phoenix, no mention of Scottsdale, no mention of Paradise, any of the places where the money's at, where you might want to rank for those kinds of terms. I would definitely consider putting, make sure that your title tags and your descriptions are correct. And we're going to look at that in a minute here in a little bit more detail. So I have a tool that I have called Screaming Frog, and you can get this tool for free from the web. So screamingfrog.co.uk. So you can download this tool absolutely free, and basically you plug in your domain name and it crawls your site. And one of the things that it can output for you is a list of all of your pages, along with their status code, if they're indexable or not, the title, which I've been mentioning already. So here is the home page, and here's that title that I mentioned, Custom Window Treatment Arizona Specialty. So there's that title. How long is that title? And then the meta description is another area that you can modify behind the screen, behind the scenes. In this case, their description is visit the Phoenix Valley's trusted shutter shades, blinds, and shades dealer, the Arizona specialty. Connect with us. Now, this meta description and this meta title is really important because when somebody searches for your business, Arizona specialty.com. So what I'm doing here is a site colon search in Google, site colon, and then a domain, no spaces. So site colon Arizona specialty. Hey, Google, tell me what you know about this particular website, right? So all the results are from that domain only. In this case, 47 pages on the site. And here is some of the results. Now, when I mention title tags, this right here, high quality shutters, custom design, Arizona specialty, that is the title tag for the shutters page. Arizona specialty understands the importance of wood shutters, blah, blah, blah. This is the meta description for that particular page. So this is why it's important when you are trying to rank your business against 9 of your competitors on page 1 of Google. This has to stick out in some way. The title needs to somewhat match what they searched for. And then the paragraph under here needs to be compelling enough for them to say, oh yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Click, and then they go to your result. So it's not always about being number one. In some cases, it's about writing the right content, the right copy here. So we do see some things that are repeated, like Arizona specialty is repeated on a lot of pages. I would probably take that off and spend some more time writing out some keyword specific titles and worrying about ranking for Arizona specialty only on your homepage. That's the only page that needs to rank for your brand. The other pages need to rank for the thing that they do. So in this case, shades, high quality shades, get your window shades throughout Phoenix and Scottsdale. I don't know, something like that. Probably something better could be written, but just off the top of my head, that's a good one there. So definitely want to check this, and you can do this, like I said, site colon, and then your domain. That'll show you what's being indexed in Google, or use the tool like Screaming Frog to get this information as well, which is pretty cool. Nice, easy way. If you're more of a nerd, you'll be able to see this information. The one thing I do see here is that a lot of these are repeated, and they're not, it looks like these are different pages where they're just changing this. See, now it says Fountain Hills, but the rest of the content really is all the same. So, all right, that is enough about that. In aHrefs, again, with this tool, Arizona specialty, let me click on that and we'll look at some information. So this is the SEO tool that I have to kind of look at the back end of a website. And here are some things that I noticed. First of all, 146 backlinks. Those are links from other websites pointing back to this particular site. That's great. You want more and more backlinks. And we talked earlier on about something called citations, which are mentions of your business around the web. So the Better Business Bureau, your house profile, your Facebook profile. There are a couple hundred of these citation type sites that can get you more backlinks to your site. But this is the one we're concerned about right here, organic keywords. Currently, they're ranking for 123 different search terms, which is an increase of 67 in I think this is the last 30 days. Now, if we click on this, we can actually see what keywords they are ranking for. So look at this, shutters, Arizona. That's a nice one. Of course, it only works if the customer is somewhat near Phoenix, right? They don't want to drive to the other end of the world to install some shutters. Maybe they would, depending on the deal, right? There's 2 columns we're interested in here. Volume is searches per month for that phrase. So 200 people a month are searching for shutters, Arizona. That's awesome. And then position they are in Google for that phrase. So currently they're in position 13, which is page 2, slot number 3. So you really want to, obviously you want to be on page 1, right? The joke is the best place to hide a dead body, page 2 of Google. So a lot of page 2 results here. This one, they're at the top of page 2, just past page 2. 20 is the last one on page 2 of Google. So basically, there's 10 results per page. This tool is called aHrefs. It is not free, aHrefs. It is not a free tool. There's also one called SEMrush, SEMrush.com, that does a lot of the same things. It is also not free. They may have like a free trial or a really short kind of free time that you could use it, but we pay for the pro version of this, because we use it for all of our clients all the time. So all right. What else on my notes here? Yeah, ranking for a lot of different keywords, but probably could definitely use some optimization and some work around getting these backlinks up. As you can see, these are organic keywords by top position. So where are they ranking? Mostly they're ranking in the 11 plus, which is page 2 of Google or more. You can see down here in the orange, you can hardly see they're really not ranking for anything on page 1 of Google. So, you want this to be a nice trending upward chart as time goes on and ranking more and more on page 1. Let's see. Some of the backlinks in here are not high quality. In some cases, you're not going to have any opportunity to do anything about this. Like this, which hair loss product should I use? This is not a relevant link, even though it looks like they're pointing back to this website. Not relevant. It's not like it's coming from, WF Vision magazine or something like that. It is way off topic. So probably not much value there in having that link. Yellow Place, which is a different version of Yellow Pages type thing. Bestimprovers.com. That one's kind of cool. Mesa, Arizona windows and doors. They have a link back to their site. So that's good. So there are some good links in here, but also some that are just not worth anything, as time goes on. So it's not always just about the number of backlinks, but also about the quality of those backlinks, that they are from your industry, that they're relevant. That helps as well. All right, let's go on to, there's a question. What is local optimization? How is it different from SEO? Okay, fantastic question, Maureen. So this tool, aHrefs, looks at this, whatever domain I put in here versus every other website online, right? So it is comparing these guys to everybody else. A tool that like Bright Local is more for very, very local search. So when I showed, who was that I showed? Was it Core, I think. This tool, which is generated from our Bright Local program, shows things in a more local search. So how are you guys competing against other companies in your town, right? So it looks at that kind of stuff, and it looks at when somebody searches for you, who else comes up. So much more local, and that's really, for our clients, that's what we're after, right? We're after these local rankings because most people are searching for window coverings, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, window coverings near me, right? Near me is a huge search nowadays. So it's using your location to find local results. This tool really just gives us a good idea of this website versus all other websites. How are they doing from Google standpoint? And then we drill down into the more local stuff to see how are they actually ranking very locally, which gives us a lot better information. So hopefully that answers your question. It's still SEO. So there are some things that we need to work on, right? We need to have the right titles and meta descriptions because that is part of every SEO project. But inside this, we should also be mentioning local places, because we don't just want to rank, we want it to rank locally, right? We want it to rank in Phoenix. We don't want it to rank in Long Beach, California. So we want to be more specific about the local location, local area that they're in. And I did see, I wanted to see if they had locations. So they do have what we call city pages again. And I think we saw this on somebody else. So this is much better. Blinds, shades, shutters in Gilbert, AZ. This is great. There is some information here. I don't know if this information is the same. So let's check it out. Your interior space should be well furnished, including the accessories. So let's go to Cave Creek now and see if the information changes. Just thinking about it. Uh-oh, did we get a bad link here? Or is it just going slow? So what I'm curious about is if the information is the same and just the location has changed. I'm not sure. There we go. Your interior space should be well furnished, including the accessories. So it's not unique content, most likely. They just changed this. And all of this is the same. Highly recommend writing unique content for every city page. And I can show an example of one of our clients that does this really well. This is Naka's Drapery on the island of Maui. When you look at one of their city pages, we've got their name up here along with that city. We've got a picture of that particular city. We also mention local things, local landmarks, things like that. And then these H2 or heading tags also mention location, mention some keywords that are specific for that. So this page ranks for a lot of terms related to that particular city. And then we even put a map of that particular city there. So building something that is super local, in this case, city pages, is really going to help you versus like what these guys did. They kind of had the idea, but didn't get all the way through the process. So these are all, all the same site or all the same content. So, all right, let's move on to Shades to You, Orlando. Let's see here. So this is Shades to You, Orlando. Interesting that we have another Orlando one here. But the domain for this is shadestoyou.windowblindsorlando.com. So I'm curious why it's built this way with a subdomain. Nobody's going to remember this, right? If this is on the back of your car, or you just tell somebody, hey, go to this website, they're not going to remember it. It's way too long. I'm not sure why they didn't just get shadestoyou.com or Shades to You Orlando or, something like that. But I don't know why that is. Anyway, the subdomain is a little bit strange. Let's see what else. Phone number, top right. Yes, there is a phone number. It kind of sort of sticks out, although it melts in with this other green here, but I mean, it's not terrible. At least it's there. It is not click to call. Now, the reason that I keep saying stuff about click to call is because when we look at a website on mobile, a lot of times people just want to click the phone number, right? They just pull up the website. Now, in this case, it's click to call when it's really small like this, which is interesting. But on a mobile device, it does look different, and it should look different. In this case, it looks great. There's a contact us, there's a menu, the phone number stays up there. That's fantastic. From a mobile standpoint, this looks fantastic. It's great. We looked at one site earlier that I think, just give me a second here. I think it was this one, Core. When you shrink it down, yeah, look at this. So this is not functional, right? The menu, nothing is working as it should. So that tells me that this site is not mobile friendly, and Google is going to penalize this site for not being mobile friendly, to the point where they won't show it to anybody doing a search on a mobile phone. It won't show up in the Google search results. So very important that your site is responsive / mobile friendly. And an easy way to find that out is just to go to Google and type in mobile friendly test. And there is a link right here where you can put in your domain name, run the test, And this is a free tool from Google, and it'll come back and say, yes, your page is mobile friendly. No, it's not. Or yes, it is, but it needs some help. Pretty cool little tool there. Shades to you. Good looking site. Looks nice. Phone number stays up here. This top area is sticky. And it only has 4 options: name, phone, email, and how can we help you, which is the main products that they have. They may want to add another one here that asks, like ask us a question or something. That would be great. This is a site where they don't have the chat widget down here. Highly recommend every site have a chat widget for people that just want to ask those quick questions, like I did for that other one. Let's see, what other comments do I have here? Sticky header. When I plug this into aHrefs, this is what it comes up with. And the one thing that really sticks out to me here is these referring domains like really drop off, and then they get a whole bunch of links, and then they lose a whole bunch of links, and then they get a bunch of links, and now they've lost a whole bunch of links. Typically, when we see big spikes like this, it's because they did something to get their site listed somewhere temporarily, obviously. In a lot of cases, this is press releases, where press releases expire after a certain amount of time. So they did a press release, and all of a sudden it was listed on a couple hundred different websites, right? So it shows all these links. Then the press release expired on a lot of those sites, and they lost all those links. So decent strategy to do press releases. It's not a bad thing, but if it's the only thing, you see this kind of stuff happening versus a nice trending increase of links from other websites as time goes on. That's a big difference there, and something I noticed about this site. Now, overall, they have currently 272 backlinks. You can see that as of March of this year, they had 262. And really, it's down to 100 and something now at this point. 15, that's today. So 103 referring domains or referring sites pointing to them. Ranking for 290 different keywords, which is nice. Let's continue to get that bigger and bigger, get that into the thousands as time goes on. And then traffic value is a number that basically, if you were to pay for the traffic they're getting now, that's what it would cost to get each visitor to your website. So there are some things you can do to drive that number down to get more traffic. So typed in Shades to You Orlando just to get an idea of where they were from the Google business profile standpoint. And the one thing that sticks out to me here is a very nice number of reviews, 32 reviews, but a 4.1 average. So definitely need to work on getting more 5-star reviews. One thing that we have seen with clients is for clients that are asking for reviews, a lot of times they're just saying, hey, we're a small business. Would you please leave us a review? And if they ask this, a week or 2 weeks or even a month after the install is complete, a lot of clients are going to, they're going to see some small little thing wrong with their drapes or something, and they're going to give you a 4-star review. So not the end of the world, right? Still great. But if you're up against 3 other companies and 2 of them have 5 stars and you're at 4.1, from a social proof standpoint, people are not going to pick your business. So you have to kind of battle that, get 5 stars. One thing that we've done for some of our clients is that message that goes out says something along the lines of, if we did a 5-star job for you, would you mind leaving us a review? If you do not believe we did a 5-star job for you, please let us know. Click here to contact us, something like that, right? So when we did that, we immediately saw a change from getting some 4s and some 5s to only getting 5s. So just changing how you ask for that review could really help. Now, the best time to get a review is while you're standing in the living room or you're standing on the back porch looking at the awning, and the customer is just thrilled beyond belief about it. That's the best time to ask for a review. So you need to be prepared to be able to ask for that review at that time. For our customers, we give them business cards, and the business cards simply have a QR code on it that goes straight to their business review link. So while the installer is standing there in the living room, they're telling they're telling them how great their draperies are. Hey, would you mind shooting this QR code and leaving us a review? Oh yeah, I love it. I'd be happy to do that. And they do that right there. That is the best time to get the review. If you wait a day, you wait a week, the chances of you getting a review at all drastically diminish. So definitely important to get those reviews sooner than later, and then make sure they're 5 stars would also help. Let's see. Also, the Facebook has the same thing, rating of 3 stars with 4 different votes. So it's not like one person got mad, and gave them a 1 star. There's 4 different people that have voted, and they still only have an average of 3 stars. So something is wrong, and those things should probably be addressed sooner than later so that you can get those numbers up. Let's see, the Facebook content. I did click on the Facebook content on this one. Where did I do that? Oh, maybe I just did it on this search here. I think since Facebook came up number 2, I clicked on it. Anyway, the content on their particular Facebook page is old. This post is from May 30, and it's off target. It's about, I guess, a son playing trumpet or something. It's not on target. It's old. And then I think prior to that, the content January of 2021. So if you're going to have a Facebook page, I would definitely work on posting to it, once every 2 weeks, once a month, something like that, so it doesn't look abandoned. Because I'll tell you, a lot of people that stumble across this are going to think that this business is maybe not in business anymore. It also goes to an HTTP instead of HTTPS link, so it does not go to a secure link. So update your profile if you haven't done that in a while. And then the other thing I noticed on here is related pages. So related pages, according to Facebook's algorithm, is Vital Med Urgent Care, Budget Blinds, that's a good one, and Weston Park Apartments. So only one of the 3 are really on target. This tells me that the posts that are on here are off target, right? So Facebook is looking at past posts and trying to determine who are their competitors or who are related to those. Maybe a manufacturer should show up here, Hunter Douglas, Budget Blinds and Graber, something like that. That would be better. When it's this obviously off target, it tells me that they're not posting targeted content so often. So, all right. I think that's all the comments I had for Shades to You. Let's go back to questions. My address is located in a restricted HOA neighborhood and customers cannot come to us. How can we get around that to be best ranked? I don't think listing a home address is a terrible thing. I work out of my home and have for 20 something years. And in that time, I've had one person show up. I don't think it's as big of a deal as it used to be, especially after the pandemic. People get it. People are working from home. That's just the thing. So I don't think people are going to come to your home as often as you might think they would. Secondly, there are ways on websites to put, on your contact page, just put something around by appointment only, or we come to you, appointments at your location or at your convenience, things like that. So that's definitely possible. And I think there's even a setting in Google Business Profile where you can set it where you go to their location or something like that as well. So don't think it's a huge deal. The pros of listing a address far outweigh the cons of not doing so. So I would definitely I would definitely list a address if I could. Now, another way to do that is obviously to get a location in the city, which isn't always easy, right? Not a lot of people have the money to get a retail type location. You cannot use PO boxes. You cannot use UPS stores. You could rent a closet from a friend that has a factory downtown and call it Suite B or something. That's still kind of within range of acceptable. Although, if you watch my training on optimizing your Google business profile, you'll get a little bit more detail about this. But Google is starting to crack down on even some of those things where they're asking you to do a video tour of your place, or they're asking to show them signage or the front door with your hours, those kinds of things. So they're starting to crack down on that. But if you're working from home, obviously you can just say, hey, we work from home. Here's our dedicated office area, something like that. Anyway, check out that training at wtmarketingpros.com/training. I just did that one last month, so it's at the top of the list there. So, all right, that is, oh no, there was one more site, Marquee Blinds. This was another one that was submitted to us. It is actually a manufacturer, so a little bit different, but I did want to show you guys, because I still think there's some things here that are important. Again, with the home link, everybody seems to do that. The phone number here is click to call, but it's kind of weird that it's scrolling and now it's gone. So if I wanted to call it now, I have to wait, that kind of thing. So that's weird. The zip code in the top right, that one's really strange. I get it. They're probably, something related to the dealers, but there's no explanation of why it's there or anything like that. Let's see what else. Phone number scrolls. The hover button, or the buttons, when you hover, they kind of disappear. They're kind of weird the way that they do that. I mean, it's not the end of the world. Again, when I go back to home, I think wholesale window treatments made in America, but you can see that kind of fades out. Again, just a design thing, not the end of the world. Proudly serving a lot of different areas, which is very, very broad. And when you click on these, they don't go anywhere. They just go back to the homepage. So I'm not sure why they linked these when they don't go to like a page. Well, now this one did. I clicked Ohio and all of a sudden it went to Columbus, but I didn't even realize it until I just looked at the URL. So this didn't change to match what I thought I was going to see, which would be content about Ohio, in this case, Columbus. So that's a little bit strange. The phone number in the footer, scroll down here, lots of content, which is fantastic. The footer is huge. Look at the footer, takes up the entire screen. And when you click on the footer, it actually goes to an email address, which is interesting. That's not what I would expect to happen. And overall, I think it was just a little confusing to me, mostly because I didn't realize it was a manufacturer. They are putting out some content, which is great. The content is fantastic that, a lot of people aren't doing this. The amount of content for this particular blog, Motorized Drapes, is 1, 2, 4 sentences. So that's definitely a swing and miss. You need to be doing, 850, 1,200 words in a typical blog to really start to rank, because there's not enough information here for Google to know what to rank this page for. I mean, they're going to know it's motorized curtains, but there's just not enough content here versus somebody else who's maybe doing the same thing and listing more content there. So, okay. That is our website critiques for today. I hope you guys found it interesting. I hope you learned something. I appreciate everybody's time. One last thing, I do have my book, Triple Your Window Treatment and Awning Leads. If you don't have a copy of this, visit wtmarketingpros.com/book, and that will get you a copy of the book, absolutely free. I'll get that in the mail to you right away. And I do appreciate everybody jumping on. Thank you so much for your time. Hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you next month for another training session around something related to digital marketing.